Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. This Saturday evening afterthought after that load of rubbish that we saw earlier. To my right is Lucas, all the way from the US of A. I'm deflated. I really am, and I'm not even going to go into an explicit rant tonight. I really am not. Because what's the point? What's the point? Um, Lucas, first off, how are you? How's life apart from West
Um,
Ham? And then we'll get to West Ham.
I'm all right. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily deflated. I'm more, um, mm, I'm discouraged, I'd say. I don't know. Today, today was just really, really bad in terms of what we saw. I'm not thrown in the towel yet because I'm gonna say the dreadful quote. It's only preseason, even though I think preseason's important, and it's
Right.
not about the result; it's about the performance, and both were bad. So, yeah, for me, just today was just just not good in multiple facets.
Problem is, you say it's only pre-season. That's where I am concerned because what we are seeing is a mirror of what's going to happen next week. Right? If Bournemouth turn up next week, new manager bounce, we're going to get hammered. Simple as that. And I understand it. Listen, I do the spaces, right? People on Twitter randomly block me because I don't like my opinion, right? To them people, right, you've got to learn to fucking have a bit of debate in life. That's a pound for me. Um, I can't keep hearing people saying about Moyes is this, that, and the other, and then not criticising Moyes in moments. Like today, he has to be criticised. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Today,
It,
today was I. I'm not putting the blame solely on anyone. Today was just a overall systematic failure. I thought, but for me, though, like the tactics didn't look great, but at the end of the day, are we really scouting a Bayern Leverkusen? Like, I get that it's a friendly, and every match you play, you want to win, friendly or not. But Moyes' tactics today weren't great. The players out there today weren't great either. I think it was just a whole failure, a whole
mm,
entire failure. Like
it's not good.
that reminded me. That literally reminded me of Brighton last season, and the fact that the only positive I'll take away from today
Right.
that happened in preseason. It was the last match, and I forget who was saying it last show. Um, who was saying was it Clive? That was I think Clive said it, and I agreed with him. Like
Yeah.
he was talking about how I don't want us to lose, but I kind of hope we do so they realize like how bad we are and we really need
No,
Simon
he
in
said
the
that
door.
against Bournemouth.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that what he wanted, I think, might have happened today.
Right. Yeah, but the
And
problem is, if
hopefully and what I'm saying is it's better in my opinion that happened right now than Bournemouth.
but the thing is, they should know that. If we can see it,
Yeah, of
me and
course.
you, if
Of course, but this is West Ham. This isn't a perfect world. This is not a club built on well, not club, but this is an ownership not built on logic. They don't see logic.
see the thing is, yeah, right. I get both sides of the argument. I do. I look at both sides and I think I understand where the in boys are coming from, and then the ones who are saying out on performances like today. You can't defend him today. It was pony. Let's be real. It was bad. It was really bad. And when I look at him and I think, what more can he give? But then I don't look at him anymore. I look at the person upstairs who's seeing all this and allowing it to carry on. Now, I reckon this is my prediction for this year. I reckon we're going to start slow. I think we're going to get done in a few games in the first sort of six. I think he's gone by the end of September, beginning of October, if not earlier than that. I don't think West Ham will hang about. Yeah, I think Sullivan needs an excuse to sack Moyes, right? And he hasn't got one at the minute. He hasn't, because people will use the argument it's only pre-season, which is a load of rubbish, right? For me, because next week, for me, is like it's massive. If we lose that game, then we're right up against it straight away. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, this season and the whole summer window right now, it's hard for me to, and under the ownership as always, it's hard for me to like look towards the future because this whole this whole ownership, we've really only been able to look into the future or have hope for the future like twice. One,
Yeah,
one when Bilic was here, when we qualified for Europa League and we were moving stadium or ground, and then maybe there one or two other moments you can argue, but right now I'm really not trying to like look as far as I have to because we're just not in that mode right now. Like as much as I want to be negative about Bournemouth after what I saw, I'm not gonna try and predict what I'm gonna see through the first month because I need to see us against Bournemouth to really have a better idea. Because as much as I do think preseason is important, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt and stay a little bit optimistic, even though it's hard. But of course, if we play like we did today against Bournemouth, I can guarantee to everyone that we will 1,000% lose. But I really need to see us against Bournemouth to have a indicator of what's to come going forward. But today was just it wasn't good. Like I said, it was a systematic failure. Everyone really was terrible. Not
I don't
one
know.
worse than the other, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you how it was for me, yeah, because at 2-0, I went, that's enough. I went, I am not wasting my Saturday lunchtime watching these lads trying to play football against a team who are well organised and established. Yeah, I thought, nah, sod this, I'm going out. Yeah, so I don't know what happened in the second half. Right, all I kept seeing is notifications coming up that another goal's gone in, another goal's gone in.
It was the same. It was the same as the first half, which, I mean, again, it wasn't really surprising because
It's not good,
you
mate.
really hope for a better second half, but it didn't come, and I wasn't surprised with the way we played in the first half because it was that bad. But
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Lucas, yeah, I understand what people say, like, and like, I'm going to shout out Alfie here, yeah, because Alfie does back him up, right? And Alfie will defend him on the hill with his life, yeah. But the difference is now you can't keep defending the indefendable in certain aspects. Like people keep questioning me and saying, "Oh, what are you Moyes out?" I've been Moyes out since Leicester last year. Do you know what I mean? The final game before the World Cup. I've been Moyes out for a hell of a long time. I was Moyes out before all the boys on this channel. Yeah. But what I can't have is when Moyes does stupid things and the players. Also, you've got to look at the players also. But West Ham as a whole is a circus at the minute, big time. Yeah, it's just a Bonner. I see a bit of a Bonner today. I was like, what's he doing? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Then maybe next week it'd be different. Obviously, Aguerd, Zuma together. But
I think there was one average player today, and
who was that for you?
that could be kind. I thought Emerson was bang average. I didn't think he was terrible, but he wasn't great.
Well, let's talk about some players.
I'd rather not.
I know, but this is the thing, though, Lucas. Right? This is why people are concerned. This is why people in the chat. I'm seeing them. And I will get to everyone's comment in a minute.
Yeah.
Right? I can see why people
throw someone out, and we'll go.
And Bamba.
I didn't. This one's a bit of a tricky one. I didn't think he was terrible today, but he really didn't seize his moment or the opportunities he had because he really did not have a lot of service today at all. But there was a few moments where you notice like this is why he's not playing in the Premier League yet. He's not where people think he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's little things he still has to learn in order to make that next step. While he is an impressive young lad, as we all know, he's had a fantastic preseason in my opinion. But there's little things today that showed that I don't think he's ready to make the step that everyone thinks he is. Like there were certain times where there was a run on, like I think it was Paqueta who played a outside the foot pass, like a through
Yeah.
ball to him, and he was jogging because he might have thought the run wasn't there, but it was, and he didn't. There was a moment in the middle of the pitch where he was shielding a man off, and instead of playing a first time pass, he tried to like outmuscle a defender like it was an academy match, and he turned the ball over. And again, he was feeding off scraps today, not a lot of service, but there was a few moments where it was a bit of an indicator that he's just not as ready as what people say. And I hope today doesn't affect his mentality, because he has had a brilliant preseason, in my opinion.
Right. What I'm going to say to you is one question, yes or no answer, and we'll move on. Is he ready for Bournemouth next week? Because if we get an injury to a striker, is Mbamba ready to come in and do the job and score us goals? Not run around and look pretty. Yeah, I want him to do well. I really do. He's an academy boy, right? And I'm from the academy sort of generation of players who's come through the circuit at West Ham, right? Is he ready for you right now? Can you rely on him to score a goal?
In my opinion, I think you could say Bayern Leverkusen are a better side than Bournemouth, especially with the team they put out today. And because it is Bournemouth, and I don't rate Bournemouth very highly, I think they're okay,
right?
But I don't think they're great. If Mubama had to start on Saturday, would I be concerned? I'd say no. But is he ready to start a Premier? What was the question again? Sorry.
Basically, is he ready? Is he ready for Premier League?
I think he could start against Bournemouth, but not a lot of other sides. I think that's maybe one of 3 sides he can maybe start against, and I wouldn't be completely worried. But in terms of the Premier League, no, he's not ready.
This is the one thing that worries me with Mbamba. Yeah, I want him to do well. This kid. Yeah, I've seen him live. I think he looks an excellent prospect. I think he's going to be a top class player. But West Ham literally pushing this geezer into the deep end right now. Now, if it works, they look like heroes. If it don't work, then you can ruin this kid.
But yeah, he's not ready for the Premier League yet.
Right. Let's talk about Paqueta.
Yeah, he wasn't not at his best today. He was pretty. What's the word? I don't want to say shambolic, but he was kind of bad. And again, it was a lot of. It's tough. Well, it's not tough to criticize some of these players, but some people are gonna say that they were really bad, but not give any reason.
Well, basically, I'll tell you what I see earlier on. Yeah. Now I'm taking it from people that I trust. Someone said to me, he down tools after 20 minutes. Basically, he was like, "This is a friendly. I'm not going to do it." And look, Chris has just said it there perfectly. As I just say that, he comes out with it, right? So if that is true, then what does that look like if we are up against a team in the Premier League and
he hasn't done that, but he hasn't done that yet. And again, if it's preseason, you're really not trying to get hurt, but you want to give your best. And like I said, today he wasn't great. He wasn't great. He was pretty bad, and it was a half and half. It was some of his own demise, and then the players around him. Literally everyone today was so bad. I really feel for Paqueta, because if he has to play with Flynn Downs and Souček on Saturday, which most likely he's going to have to, shout out to Popular Born. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, big shout out to Popular Born, man.
If he has to play with Flynn Downs and Souček, it's going to be another tough day at the park, because really and this is the thing with midfielders where you have to think about. Paqueta was bad today, yes, but you can only be as good as how your teammates are playing as well. Like Souček and Flynn Downs, and this is especially for midfielders. What can you do in a midfield when your 2 other midfielders just never show for the ball? They don't pass the ball forward. They turn. Flynn Downs isn't as bad as Souček, but they both don't really turn that great. So basically, it's tough to. because Suchek made a lot of individual mistakes today, but then there was a lot of mistakes that he made that you could argue were because of his midfield partners.
See, the thing is, right, I'm going to say this. Yeah, I don't usually turn off West Ham games. There's enough shit West Ham games over the years to go just put up with it. But today just really, really drove me mad because the reason why I'm angry more than anything, and I'm not going to lose me rag tonight. I'm not. I'm on this swear ban with all the boys. Yeah, and we're trying to like not swear as much. Yeah, but when you are 1 week away from the start of the Premier League season and you put in a performance like that, no one can tell me next week we're going to turn up and be absolutely amazing.
No,
one.
I totally agree, and I will reiterate what Clive said the other day and what he wanted. I agree with what he said, but not when. So, like, again, I wouldn't say like I'm happy, but I'd rather that performance he talked about, it happened today rather than Bournemouth, because now that performance that he didn't say he wanted to see, but it happened today, and hopefully that is a real huge eye opener, because it would have been a lot more toxic if it was
there's no
Bournemouth.
excuses, Lucas, right? Just shout out to Glenn, also. He's just become a member of the channel. Thank you for the support, Glenn. Really do appreciate it, mate. Listen, the way I look at this is, you can't, like, West Ham needs to go out next week and give the fans what they want, and that is players, Get players in, get the spirits up, try and make a statement signing of some note to give us some sort of optimism. We are just getting absolutely poleaxed by everyone at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Let's break it down quickly, and then I'm going to move on to other players, and I will come to the people in the chat. I do swear, First off, Perth Glory, we all spoke about that. If we can't beat Perth Glory, then let's be honest, we need to give up, right? We need to seriously give up on football, right? Take up another sport, Then you got Tottenham. Now, I think the Tottenham result looks good, but that was Tottenham's first pre-season game.
Yeah, but they played a very strong side, and we did not, and we looked good.
And we looked okay, but the man who scored the winning goal is flying to Italy now, right? Then I see him against Dagenham and Redbridge, and I know people say about it was their first game back and everything, but they was poor. They was getting bulldozed and bullied by their centre forward, right? Then they go to Rennes, and let's be honest, when West Ham turn up against Rennes, they weren't all that. Just weren't all that at all. And then today they turn up at Leverkusen, and I haven't even got to sit here and watch the whole game. I watched enough of it to go, I knew what was coming after the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, to this preseason as a whole, I'd say, and again, like, preseason's a bit of an annoying one because, like, you just see an equal amount of people that are on both sides of the fence. No one really takes anything with a grain of salt. And again, for me, it's all about the performance rather than the result, because everyone will tell you, oh, preseason doesn't matter. Oh, preseason matters. Avram Grant won every single preseason match. We went down. And then you got people complaining or backing, like, preseason importancy. Like, to me, it's the performance that matters, not the result. And
see, go on, man. I'll let you land. Go on. All right. But I've got to say this quickly,
overall, right. Go ahead.
That comment there from Ralph, is true. They did have many shots. They had they was all over us at stages, Spurs, especially in that second half. I know we won the game and we looked okay, but I've not seen us look good once, Lucas. I mean, against Dagenham and Redbridge.
I mean, Southampton the other night against Sheffield Wednesday passed the ball 936 odd times, and they had a bunch of shots. They only won 2-1. So, I mean, just because you have the ball and you shoot the ball 20 times, really, it only tells part of the story.
Yeah,
but I get what he's saying, though. Like, I understand.
Right. Let's reel through some other
what
people,
I'm saying though is,
go
on. Oh Christ, I forgot what I was going to say now.
When it comes back to you.
This preseason, I'd say overall, in terms of like what I see on social media and all that, people complaining that it does matter, it doesn't matter. We may have done the best part. It was average, in my opinion. I didn't think it was a terrible preseason. I didn't think it was great. I would say it was bang average.
But one thing I will say, there is no excuses now not to get those signings in next week.
Well, yeah, and that's why I go back to what Clive said, how he doesn't want it to happen, but he kind of hopes it happens, so it pushes us to sign more players. I'm happy that happened today, and not
Yeah.
Bournemouth, because if that happened next Saturday, that would have been more than toxic.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go through some other players before we sort of get to the chat. Anyone who's got any questions, I will ask you in a minute for your questions on anything. Yeah, I'm prepared to read out all of them tonight, as many as I can. Kara, just give me sort of small analysis from mate.
Not much. He wasn't good, and he's not a great right back, or he's not a dependable right back. I'd say he is really, in my opinion, kind of like, and this isn't an insult by any means, but he's kind of in the same mold as Ryan Fredericks, in my opinion. Like, he can fill in multiple positions, but he's not a reliable starter. Like, if you need him to come in and perform for a match or two, I think he can do that. But if you're asking him to play right back or center half in a back four for a month straight, it's going to be a bit dicey.
He's definitely not a centre half. I can tell everyone that now.
He's confusing because, again, like I said, he shows promise at right back in like one or two matches when we need him there. He shows promise in a back four. He shows promise in a back three, but we still don't know where his strongest position is. For me, I think his strongest position is a third center half in a back three. But again, like Fredericks, there's moments where we put him somewhere that we need him, and he does very well. But I do like that he's basically our utility defender, but at the same time, like he wasn't great today, and it is hard to rely on him to be steady.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I agree with Steve on this. I think all the passion has been sucked out of the players. I agree, mate. I really do, Steve. I hope you're well, Stevie. Let's move on to let's go Ben Rama. I see Ben Rama getting a lot of stick. I don't know what to make of it. I see what I see within the first sort of 20 minutes before I went, that's enough. He was crap. Now you can tell me if he was more crap. Is he?
He was crap. Just wasn't good. He had one decent moment where he picked up the ball in the middle of the pitch. He drove forward. He could have laid it off to his right, but he didn't. And it went out for a corner, thankfully. But again, for me, he's just way too high and low. He's got to find somewhere in the middle, which his time at West Ham, besides the first season for me, has been kind of tough, but he wasn't good today.
Let's get to Wolf. I haven't mentioned it yet, mate. I haven't had time yet, mate. I'm trying to get through this Wolf at the minute, and this is pain as it is.
Real quick, 199 people in the chat right now watching this video. If you could, smash a like on the video. We're trying to get to 100 likes every single video, and you know what? We got to have some sort of positivity today, and if you could smash that like button, it'd be absolutely fantastic. We appreciate all your participation, all your support on the channel, as always. And yeah, move on. Sorry.
Flynn Downs.
Terrible.
He's not ready, is he?
It hurts me because obviously we all know Flynn Downs' backstory. We know who he is. We know what he's about. But the same with any other academy player or Mubama. He isn't what people think or hope for, in my opinion. Like, and maybe the only other hope I have for him that he improves, right, is if he gets another decent midfielder next to him. Like, for all I know, he could be the 8 and he plays with Alvarez and Paqueta and he could look better. But him and Thomas Suchek, I'm telling you right now, they make each other worse. they could not be more polar opposite of midfielders, and they do not mesh in any way possible. And Flynn Downs, like, I think he's an okay player, but I really don't think he's ready to start in the Premier League.
I'm going to say this, I backed up Flynn quite a lot last year, I really did, because I thought he was treated a bit unfairly by some of the fan base. Like, people were knocking him and saying, well, what, like, he's playing against big 6 sides away from home when Moyes is setting up to defend for his life. I looked at him so far in the pre-season, and I'm going to be honest, and I know family members of Flynn, he ain't gonna make it at West Ham, mate. He ain't. I'll be real. Yeah, I want him to do so well for us. I really do, but I've got to be real and honest. And I say this, and I just look at him and I think he can't really do any more than what he's
I
doing.
would say
If I'm
the
honest.
odds right now are stacked against him, and some of it is just him and the climate he's in, and then secondly, it's who he's playing with. Like I said, I think the last hope that I can hang on to is that he plays with a better midfielder, because I think he can play with Paqueta, but I'm telling you, Thomas Souček, I love the guy, I really do. I'd go to war for him and with him, but just as a football player, mate, he just.
That's what he's paid to do,
And
though, mate.
I tweeted today, but I deleted it because I do that a lot because I don't like contributing to the toxicity, but sometimes I just can't help it. But you can tell this guy is a hockey player because he plays football like a hockey
Yeah.
player. He just
Yeah, but
is.
Mitchell was right though, Lucas. Yeah, people. Oh, right. I'm going to say this. Yeah, obviously we're saying about Flynn. Yeah, and that's done. We will get to Thomas Souček next, right? But Mitchell got loads and loads of grief on Souček, loads. Yeah, people kept knocking him and knocking him and knocking him, and Mitch told me well before everyone else started coming out about Souček and said, James, just watch him off the ball. Right, he'll score a goal. People will rave about him. Yeah, when he doesn't score a goal, he's as good as useless. And it's like, gonna take it away for Thomas Souček, mate, because it's not nothing that we've not seen before.
And again, I will always reiterate how much I love Thomas Souček, but there's people, and this isn't directed towards anyone because I've seen it a lot on Twitter, that with Edson Alvarez, he's a warrior. His work rate's elite. And don't get me wrong, like at West Ham United, that's like one of the first things I look for, because that's who we are. That's our foundation. We work hard, and we're brave. And Thomas Souček works hard. He's brave, bleeds for the club. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just not good enough, and it's very evident. And that is like my one worry with Edson Alvarez. I have a feeling that he may be a bit Souček-ish. I'm not saying that he'll be the same, but again, you can work hard, bleed for the club, and all that, but sometimes the football inability isn't there. Even though I love him.
Yeah.
And it's not even tough love. It's just it's what I'm seeing.
I think you could keep Souček as a sort of squad member, but not a first team starter for me. I think he's ideal in certain situations, but to rely on this
he's just like any other player in this club for me. He's the same as Ben Rama and Fornals for me. There are certain matches where I think Souček would be an absolute menace and he would thrive. And then there's some matches where I just don't think it's for him. And I've said that with Fornals and Ben Rama all last season. There are just some matches where Ben Rama is not that guy.
The problem is
matches where Fornals isn't that guy.
You just can't rely on Souček. That's the problem, right? You can't let's be honest. Go back last season. Yeah, we could rely on Declan Rice because we knew Dec would always put in
bare minimum
a 7, high 7 out of 10,
95% of the time.
Yeah, right. So who are we going to rely on this season if the going gets tough? The problem is if the going does get tough, the manager will be gone, and then the players might. I don't want to say down tools, but it's not looking good, is it? Let's be honest. I'll go for one more player, and then we'll get questions from the chat. Let me pick one. How did Bowen do today for you?
Kind of the same as Mubama. Not a lot of service. Really didn't have the chance to do a lot. And again, I thought he wasn't great, more solely off the players around him than his individual performance. And I'll round it off quickly as well. I didn't think Zuma was great today. I thought Ogbonna was okay. But then again, I'm only saying that because this is his minutes. This is what he's playing. He's not going to get that many minutes in the league. So he was okay. Sufal, not great. And then, like I said at the beginning, I thought Emerson was probably our best player, and even though he was our best player, he was bang average.
Thing is, it's worrying, mate. Yeah, because I've watched West
Zuma's
Ham.
positioning today, by the way, was absolutely horrid. It was so bad, and I was shocked at how bad it was today.
Suchek wanders around the pitch like a geography teacher, refereeing a school match covering for the sick kids. Oh, Poplar, welcome, mate. You're cheering me up. Right, get your questions in, like Steve has here. For you, lads, do you think we will lose to Bournemouth? Moyes has to go.
No,
I
I don't think he'll go if we lose to Bournemouth.
I think if you want me to be honest, Steve, yeah, I think it's a banker draw written all over that game next week.
It would have to be like it would literally have to be a 4-0 loss. If we lost 4-0 to Bournemouth, I wouldn't be surprised if he got the sack and he doesn't even take the bus home.
Right, let's move away from this because it's the final pre-season game. Let's talk a bit about Alvarez, or Alvarez, however you put it, the Mexican muscle.
And by the way, people, it's Alvarez, it's Martinez, not Martinez. Alvarez, Martinez.
That and all is also, I'm not happy about either. Dominic Solanke. Like,
I don't even want to talk about that.
That is just, how can you go? Like, I don't know about everyone else, yeah. People might look at me and think, oh, you do talk some shit, James. But even people who are seeing that, like Dominic Solanke being linked with West Ham, that has got to serious. Like, how can, so you've just won a trophy. You're in the Europa League, and you're expecting this geezer to do what? Like
just when you
when you weigh it up at West Ham right now, we've got Mikel Antonio, who has been a loyal
Actually,
servant.
you know what? He was okay today as well. Antonio, he was okay.
Antonio, right? Yeah. You got Antonio. Right, you got Danny Ings, who is a Villa reject. Let's be real. Villa sold him to us because they want him off the books. Yeah, we're relying on an 18-year-old kid to score the goals, and now we've just got rid of Skamaka, and we're looking at bringing in Dominic Solanke. That is just madness, mate. I don't get what the pattern is of like style or anything. Like if someone could tell me West Ham's style of play right now, to me it seems like defend for your lives and nick a 1-0 win. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, just I don't know what the vision is right now, and nobody knows what the vision is, and that's concerning.
Edson Alvarez paired with a good box to box like for final will do the business for us. Do you agree?
I agree with that. But then again, like people are saying, like once we get Alvarez in, we'll be okay. Like, mate, if Edson Alvarez has to play with Souček and Paqueta, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day because you've got two midfielders that turn like absolute statues.
You can't, definitely not. Jordan, hope you're well, mate. Right, and again, I can't believe that. Lucas just told me literally 5 minutes before we went live. Annoys me. We had a chance to push on after winning the trophy. Yeah, this is not our teams who just won a trophy should be acting. I will say that. What we got? Someone. We got here. Would you sell Souček now for 15 million or keep him for the season and let him go on a free? But they're thinking about offering him a new contract.
You can't. We cannot sell any players right now. We really can't. We are bare thin.
Oh,
very thin. So, and really, what is 15 million going to do for us?
Not a lot, mate. Let's talk about David Moyes. as Paul's just putting it in there. Have a C-bomb moment. Have a C-bomb on me, James.
See you next Tuesday.
Thank you very much, Paul. We do appreciate it, mate. Yeah. Let's talk about David Moyes, mate, because he's been the talk of the town. Yeah. I don't know, Lucas, where to go with him. Really, I don't. Yeah. I'm trying my hardest. Yeah. I want him to go, but then I don't want him to be I don't want his memory at West Ham to be tarnished, if that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
I totally get that. And I think that's a fair point of view because because I agree. Like if Moyes gets the sack, right, I don't want it to be because he was a bad manager, because he's not a bad manager. Like
Yeah,
again, it's all opinion. Like if he was a bad manager, he wouldn't have managed over 1,000 matches. That's just a fact. Like, and for me, I understand people saying his style of football is horrendous. It's boring. It's
it is bad.
dinosaur-esque.
I must admit.
I get that. But as a manager, in my opinion, he's not bad. And I agree. I don't want the narrative to be he was sacked because he was bad. I would have rather, in a perfect world, the narrative would have been he either walked or he was sacked because his vision is not aligned with the club's, and
Yeah.
which is fair. But again, like I just don't understand how just I've repeated it and said it so many
You're lost
times.
for
Like it's
words.
David Sullivan. Like he doesn't have the bollocks to make the call, and he doesn't want to use his own money to sack him.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just you're watching a wounded dog on the
The thing
floor.
is, I agree with William on that comment. Yeah. Do you think the players have lost faith in Moyes? I think some of them have. I really do. I think there's a lot of what goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about, if I'm being honest. Yeah, nothing would
Oh,
surprise me.
there's a ton that we don't know. And the thing is it annoys me when people act like they do know what's going on. There is so much that goes on that we don't know about. And it's better that it just stays there.
I'll say this about Moyes, yeah. Now, on this channel, we have a lot of debates, yeah. I have a lot of opinionated people on this channel. That's how I've always wanted it, yeah. Because at the end of the day, whether we agree or disagree, you're claret and blue through and through. That's my sort of thing that it's always been with me, yeah. From growing up being a West Ham fan, from my family, right? With Moyes, it's a tricky situation. He's bad with the team, very, very bad. Yeah, and he shouldn't be here. Yeah, if you want West Ham to progress right now, as a fan, he's not the man to progress West Ham to the next level or take West.
Currently, right now, yeah.
Right, right. But the problem is the owner wants him here. Now, what I can't understand is the way we've been playing. Now, if he goes and signs 3 players next week, that might give us a bit of a bounce that we need. Yeah. But we are playing a dangerous, dangerous game right now. Yeah. Going into the Bournemouth game with hoping that we're going to get a signing. Yeah. We need players here urgently.
See,
Right.
the problem is at this club, a spade isn't a spade. Like with what Rich just said right here, yeah. He
Yeah.
says, there you go, David Sullivan's to blame for that performance. Moyes gets no accountability on here. And I do love Rich. Rich is my guy. But like we've already said, Moyes, his tactics were pretty crap today.
Rich, you know I don't want Moyes here, mate.
The tactics were crap. Moyes is not a perfect manager. Moyes is struggling right now. The players were equally as horrendous because our shape today was terrible. I think that was the worst our shape has ever looked. And
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, David Sullivan doesn't call a spade a spade. He thinks, and that's the problem. Either he doesn't call a spade, or he just avoids the problem until it becomes toxic. And that is what a bad owner does. And
What? Go on. I know what you're saying. Yeah, but Sullivan.
I just don't know what more like has to be done for Sullivan to pull the plug. You know what I mean?
Sullivan,
Even if I don't agree,
right?
like there is plausible cause to
Yeah.
pull the plug.
Well,
Right now, it's way too late. If he pulls the plug right now instead of after the parade, or even 1 or 2 preseason matches into preseason, it's too late. We will be finished. We will be fighting relegation.
If he pulls the plug tomorrow,
we're
right,
done.
or Monday, I don't think we're done. I think if they go and get a new manager in place of a standard, I don't think we're done. I'm just going to get to his comment, and I'm going to come back to it. I'm a Leicester fan. I think there's a lot of resentment of last season. Lazy players, tired players, manager overstayed his welcome, and poor invest and tactics are bad. Thank you very much, mate. Good luck tomorrow against Coventry. I think the plan. One thing I'm going to say is, yeah, the reason why Sullivan won't do it right now because he will lose face in the media and everything. It makes Sullivan look bad if he sacks Moyes now. Yeah,
which is crazy for an
I know,
old guy like him. Who
I know.
cares?
Listen, I'm with you. Yeah, he's a. Oh, I was going to swear there, but he's a wrong one. Yeah, but if Sullivan goes and sacks him right now, yeah, it makes David Moyes look the victim, and it makes Sullivan look like the person who's bad news, and that's
Which
bad on
is
Sullivan,
which is
right?
horrendous.
Right. But if Moyes starts bad and the results are bad, it gives Sullivan an excuse to sack him. That's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
And from
which shouldn't matter.
it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, mate. And really, if David Sullivan had anything about him, he would have gone to him at the end of the season after the parade. He would have turned around and said, "You know what, Dave? We've had a rough old season. Thank you for the trophy. I think it's time that we go our separate ways. We want to go in a different direction. You can leave on your like as a winner, and you could go and get a job like that elsewhere, and that would have been it. And that would have been it. But Sullivan does what he does, and he sort of comes out and he makes it on to others as long as like and makes him not look like the one who's the bad one. And that's what I think on that really. Sullivan's getting back at the fans for the anti-GSB protest, pro-COVID, because he's a nasty little
He
man.
is a nasty little man.
Can we talk to the cows come home until Moyes is gone? Yeah,
we could. That's why yesterday I was just like, how much long? Or not? Yes, was it yesterday? I was like, how much more can we talk about this guy?
Irons says, spot on, James. It would be easier to sack Moyes if we had lost the final, but Sullivan hates looking bad in the media.
Which is so crazy because if I ever reach the age that David Sullivan is, I don't give a crap about what anyone thinks about me.
Yeah, but it's him though. He's got the ego, isn't it?
Yeah.
John, I hope you're well, mate. James, you're absolutely right. You can't sack Moyes yet. He's just won a cup. Hopefully, after a few bad preparation matches, he does get rid.
The thing is with me, right? If you set, I will look towards the future a little bit. Let's say if Moyes gets sacked on Monday, right?
Right.
It's going to take us at bare minimum a week to get someone else new in, right? Then you have to think about who is even out there. Thirdly, who's out there for free or is going to cost us, let's say, a transfer fee to get someone out of their club. And fourthly, it's going to take at least a month and a half to get the players that are in currently adjusted to the new manager system. And I think I'm on seventhly or sixthly. We're going up against, I think, 4 of the big six, and we could be mudded off the rip with David Moyes. At least if we keep him right now and don't sack him,
yeah, but
we could park the bus.
Yeah,
hold on to a result, get a few results. Is it going to be pretty? Absolutely not. And I agree that it won't be pretty. But at the end of the day, results are the only thing that matters. But if we sack him on Monday, it's going to be hell.
Right. But let me put it this way to you, right? And let me really do put this way to you. Is it better off to sack him now, right? Or through the season when there could be no transfer window, you could be in a situation where you get rid of him now, you give the new manager the hard games because we've got Chelsea, we've got Man City, and we've got Liverpool in them first 6, right? To sort of get bedded in and try new things, and then after that, attack.
In my opinion, this is just like the same scenario as last season. I would stick with Moyes personally, and I'm not saying like I'm sticking with Moyes because he's the greatest manager to walk planet Earth. That's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because there's no options out there. There's no options out there, in my opinion, that are better than him. Like, it's the same as last season. And
I don't know, Lucas. I disagree on that. I keep hearing that same.
But who is out there then? You got to provide me examples.
Yeah, but I'm not a man. I'm not scouting for managers. If someone said to me, James, give me 72 hours to like search for managers all around the planet, I could guarantee you I could go and find someone who's better than David Moyes currently. Like, and the thing is, what I can't hear. Listen, right? Everyone's their own. Yeah. I can't hear that people keep saying the same line over and over again. We can't find better than David Moyes. I think we can.
I'm saying that's available. Like, of course, there's better managers out there, but people are talking about Xabi Alonso. Oh, we should go get him. Yeah, he just signed a new 5-year contract.
We ain't getting
That
Alonso,
would cost us. That would cost us probably 50 million euro if we wanted to go get him. Graham Potter has not proved that he's a better manager than Moyes. And I'm going off what we've been linked with and common knowledge of what's out there. And like I said, news. Last year, Slaven Bilic would have came in if we lost to Fulham. Is he better than Moyes? No. Rafa Benitez, is he better than Moyes? No. Sean Dyche, better than Moyes? No. Graham Potter has not proved that he's better than Moyes, even though I really rate Graham Potter and I like him a lot. He has not proved that he's better than Moyes. And people that are all Graham Potter, and he plays the same style of football that Moyes does.
I agree with you on that. On that final bit. But I do think the style that Potter plays is a little bit better.
But people complain about wing backs. He plays wing backs. He plays 5 in the back. 5 in the back, 3 in the back, however you want to slice it. He plays wing backs going forward. People complain about it. It's contradiction.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I look at it different. Yeah, I think Moyes should have been at the door a long time ago. Yeah, I think he's blagged it at West Ham for a long time. People will go on the winning the trophy as an excuse. Yeah, people will use that as an excuse, right? And I said this on this channel about a month ago. I said what people will say when it starts going bad. Yeah, oh, you can't get rid of him. He's won us a trophy, right? They've already got their excuses lined up for the people who are Moyes in, right? Which I think's wrong. Yeah, for me personally, Moyes shouldn't be here. Yeah, and all it's about you can't find better managers. You can. Brighton, right? Brighton's a prime example. They go and get rid of Graham Potter. They go and get De Zerbi out of Ukraine or wherever it was.
I agree.
Right. So if we can't go and get a manager, right, of some sort of class, yeah, then there's something wrong. But then I do look at it and think, what decent manager in the right mind is going to want to work under David Sullivan?
That's another thing. And like I said, people in the chat some of them are being absolutely ridiculous what I just said. But what I'm saying is, with the managers we've been linked with, I'm not saying that there's not better managers out there.
Yeah.
But with who we've been linked with, you cannot say definitively they are better than Moyes.
Let me ask you a question. Right, it's a question for everyone in the chat. I did see the chat going.
And the new manager bounce can only go so long.
Yeah, right. I did see you going a little bit there with the old with the chat. I thought I'm not going to say nothing. But
no, I'm in bed with Moyes.
Emotional damage.
I'm not. This is as real as it gets.
I had to drop the emotional damage on you. Right. This is a question for everyone.
Chat is emotionally damaged.
Right. We're all emotionally damaged, mate. When West Ham are getting slapped by teams, we certainly do get emotionally damaged. And even you get emotionally damaged with that also. But if someone said to you right now, you take Moyes out, you put Rafa Benitez in there, right? Would people accept that right now?
Yes, they would, and that is clown behavior. That is clown behavior. And I know there's people in the chat that would, and that's disgusting because Rafa Benitez stinks. He's terrible.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And if you actually would take Rafa Benitez than David Moyes right now, you need to stop watching football.
See, the thing is, right? To sort of round this up on tonight's sort of video, yeah.
Hold your head in shame if you say yes, by the way.
Right. I want people in the chat. I've got 229 people in the chat, right, on this Saturday night, yeah? Special like on the video before you do this, what I'm about to say. Top 3 managers that you'd want at West Ham, realistically, right? I want people to put them in order. So that's 3, 2, 1, like that. And that, I want to see, right? I want to see who it is.
And are you talking like available managers or just like anyone in the world?
Well, no, they've got to be a realistic manager that's going to come to West Ham, that's going to work under David Sullivan. I think people keep forgetting that we have David.
People won't do that because, like you said, it's not my job. It's not my job. Like it's almost a pointless question because it's not my job. I don't know who's out there. It's not my job. Well, stop saying that we should go get a new manager and you don't know who's out there. That's part of the issue. Stop acting like you know things, but you don't. That's my issue. I've given with my whole thing, I've given 3-4 examples of who we've been linked with and who's out there. Yet people will say, "Oh no, still bad," but oh, I don't know who's out there. It's not my job.
Someone just said that is an amazing Sadadi impression, right? Right. What do you think of them three?
I wouldn't mind Michael Carrick, and I've said that before. My only issue is that he just hasn't coached in the Premier League, and you could say his tactics are a bit because I have watched Middlesbrough before. It is a bit like championship-esque, his tactics. But again, we won't know until those tactics are applied in the Premier League. It'll be the same with Vincent Kompany this season. His tactics last season, absolutely brilliant. Will they work in the Premier League? We'll have to wait and find out. But I am a fan of Michael Carrick.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. For me,
I do like Graham Potter as well. But again, like,
I think Carrick's a risk under what is going on right now.
Yes,
right. I do. Like, you're going to chuck this geezer in there. Just for us, you took Moyes out, you put Carrick in. Yeah, it might look all right, but it's a mess.
Lopetegui, he's not good enough. And like I've said before with Graham Potter, you people, whether you're here, there, anywhere, Twitter, whatever, you people that want Graham Potter in clearly do not watch West Ham at all or David Moyes. You'll complain about David Moyes, but I want Graham Potter. They play literally the same exact philosophy of football. So it's a contradiction. It makes no sense. But out of those three, Michael Carrick or Graham Potter, I like them both. But like I said, it's a complete contradiction if you want Graham Potter, but Moyes gone because of the style of football.
Right. What do you think of Trini as opinion?
Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, again, under Sullivan, realistically.
Wouldn't work, but I like him.
I think he'd be
he's a good manager.
He'd be a great manager for West Ham. Right? Young. He's right.
Potter would play Jared Bowen at right wing back.
He probably would do, mate. Honestly, he really would. Right. For me, it's like, I don't know. Like, I look at it a bit different. Yeah. It's not down to us to find a new
if we want to replace Moyes, we want to bring in a good manager, we will have to go out and buy one. And I'm not talking sign one. We're going to have to buy one. We're going to have to take them away from someone's club. And that's going to cost as much as Edson Alvarez or Lucas Paqueta. And if you're that serious about the future, that is probably one of the routes we will have to take. And like I said, there's not a lot of better available managers out there than Moyes currently. And I would say there are a lot of sideways steps. And I don't disagree if you want Graham Potter or you want Lopetegui or Carrick or whatever, but you can't definitively say that they're better than Moyes. It's the same with McTominay and Souček. People are saying McTominay's class. He's way better than Souček. I disagree. I think it's the biggest sideways step going. Right. And same with certain manager options out there. Unless it's Benitez, that is a backward step.
I just don't trust Sullivan, mate. If you want me to be honest, everyone can say about managers. People can say about Mancini, about
and this I can agree with. I'd rather give Kevin Nolan a month than Rafa Benitez, Lopetegui. I'd rather give Kevin Nolan a month or two, personally.
It's that bad. Anything else that you want to add? Right now, most West Ham fans just want anyone other than Moyes. They don't think further than that.
We all do, mate. We all do. But are they out there available on a free that Sullivan doesn't want to buy? I don't think so.
Yeah, but then I'm going to say this, because I was going to wrap it up, but something's just sort of triggered me a little bit, yeah? Don't swear, James, don't swear. Right? When I look at Aston Villa, yeah, they get rid of Gerrard and they go and get Unai Emery out of Villarreal. Yeah?
Great appointment.
Why can West Ham not get rid of Moyes and go and identify a manager, yeah, who they want, and buy them out of their contract. They won't do it because I will say it once, I will say it again, and I will say it 5 million times. It's David Sullivan. He will go for the cheap option. He
And
will
if you
go.
can't agree with that, you are 1,000% deluded.
Anyone who doesn't agree with me on that, then I don't know what they're saying. Because every single time he goes for the cheap option, he really does.
If we didn't have Tim Stein right now, that is our only hope of finding a decent manager. Is
I've
Tim
got
Stein.
faith in it. I tell you what,
and I have faith in him as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I love Tim Stein because I don't know him that well yet, but I'm sure I will. It's very easy for me to love people, but like, it's just a very difficult situation. And like I said, asking Tim Stein, and Tim Stein already hasn't even had that much time at the club, and then asking him after he's just scouted players, okay, you got a week or 2 weeks to find us a new manager. Then the players are gonna have to bet into the manager for at least 2 months. And those 2 months we play very difficult fixtures. And by the time those 2 months are done, we could be in the mud. All right, go figure it out. It's the same cycle over and over and over again under David Sullivan. Nothing will change until he's gone. We will continue to hire, bar David Moyes because of his resume with us. We will continue we will continue to sign managers that aren't very exciting. They're not the greatest.
They're cheap, Lucas.
Yes.
That's what it is. I'll say this, yeah? I ain't going to beat around the bush. It's because they're cheap. Pellegrini was cheap, yeah? Because he was in China and his career was done. Moyes was cheap. Do you know what I mean? Village was cheap. Do you know what I mean? The only thing I want to go cheap is a canary. Do you know what I mean? I've had enough of people.
Maryland cookie.
Right. Do you know what I'm saying? I've had enough of these people, yeah? Steiden, right? Tom said something earlier on, which was brilliant in the WhatsApp group, yeah? And he turned around and said, "And it ironic that Tim Steiden's made that Leverkusen team and they've just absolutely gone through us, right?" And people are doubting Tim Steiden. I'm thinking, how can you doubt that man, right? He's been here, what? Not even, was it 6 weeks? 6 weeks he's been here. And people are doubting him. Like, it's mental, right? The geezer, right, should be given time. He should be trusted, yeah? And at the end of the day, with Moyes, he's an employee. I keep saying it. I want him gone. But Sullivan is... I just don't trust Sullivan to pick the right appointment and do what Steiden wants.
And again, you and this is not a shot at the chat at all. And I'm not going...
You are triggered tonight.
I'm not going at... No, I'm not going to anyone. But you asked people to list 3 managers you want at the club.
Yeah.
In the chat, literally one person put in. And again, that's not a shot, but we don't know who's out there, and there's not a lot better out there than what we have. It's just...
Yeah, I know, but then I do look at it that are certain managers out there and look at it and thinking, West Ham, good project.
That to me is the bigger concern. Like, who wants to manage this club? There's only one person I think that would want to manage this club, and it's Rafa Benitez, because he's an absolute weird sod. He is so weird.
See, the thing is, right?
He would get off to managing West Ham, I'm sure.
100%, mate. So the thing is, like someone just said here, yeah, Wolf just said here, some channels are even blaming Steiden for the transfers now. Even Hammers Chat. Now, big up to Hammers Chat. I like Hammers Chat. I know Gio, Gonzo, and Charlie Walsh. Yeah, they're all good people.
Yes.
Yeah, I respect Charlie a lot. He's a good friend of mine, right? But you can't blame him. You can't blame Steiden, right? Steiden's been here. He's found targets. You look at that Leverkusen team today, yeah, and people have turned their nose up at Jonathan Tah. They turned their nose up at Jonathan Tah, and he looked like unreal player, right, for them today. And I'm thinking, why would you turn your nose up here? Why?
I would take him, but I didn't think he was as great as what people said today. I thought he had probably the easiest match of his life today. I don't think he broke a sweat today, but I get what you're saying. For me, the only thing, and I totally agree, like Tim Steiden and David Moyes, in my opinion, this transfer window, I don't think either of them really should be the blame, because you can't in my opinion, you can't fault David Moyes for players he wants, and you can't fault Steiden for the players he wants. When you make both arguments, there's points to be had. But the only thing with Stein for me personally, before we wrap up, the only thing he's done that was sort of negative was, and again, this isn't even his fault. He come in, we really wanted Harvey Barnes, and because Tim Steiden does things a certain way, the whole recruiting process reset. And Harvey Barnes was David Sullivan's top target, I'm pretty sure. That's who he wanted. Or not David Sullivan, sorry, David Moyes. That's who he wanted. And because Steiden came in and he does things a certain way, the whole recruiting process changed. So really, that's about the only negative, but that's not Steiden's fault. That is Sullivan's fault. He hired him, even though Kretinsky put him forward. And I still agree with the hiring or the appointment, but it's not Tim Steiden's fault. It's not David Moyes' fault. You can't. Both of them have the reasonings for who they want to bring in, and both of them are right to certain points. David Sullivan is the one that has caused this eternal battle, which apparently is not real, by the way, and they're very upset that the media has spun it that way. But if there actually is, because we can only take so much, like,
it's not good, Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, yeah. Right, to round it up from me, it's not good at the minute. There's no excuses. West Ham should not be going into a season getting slapped by a team 4-0 and not looking like doing anything. Right? They shouldn't. West Ham should be prepared, ready to go. Now, I look at Sullivan, right? People look at Moyes, yeah? I get the Moyes side of things. Moyes is shit. I'll be honest. He's shit, yeah? But he's here, right? The only way you get Moyes out of this club is if Sullivan sacks him, right? That's the only way. Because Moyes ain't going to walk. He's too stubborn. He's too stubborn. He's a stubborn man. He's old school.
And he thinks he can. And he thinks he can turn it around, which I totally back. If I don't want a manager that doesn't think he can turn it around.
Right now, that's the only way that Moyes is going out the door. Yeah, is by Sullivan. So when I say I blame Sullivan for a lot of stuff, I've got my own issues with Sullivan. Yeah, and that's my own personal issues with Sullivan. But I'll take them out of the equation. Sullivan should have done the right thing and sacked Moyes a long time ago, but he hasn't. Do you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I see Mickey's in the chat. How is it not Moyes' fault? Because Moyes is an employee, mate. At the end of the day, Sullivan should have sacked him. Sullivan should have sacked the geezer, and he hasn't. It's as simple as that. So it's on Sullivan. Moyes is not going to walk away from a job where he's not going to get another Premier League job. I don't see Moyes managing another Premier League club.
I don't either. And again, I'll say it a million times over and over again. It's like watching a wounded dog. Just put it out of its misery if that's the case.
He should be gone. Moyes should be gone. And the thing is, people say it's Moyes' fault. It ain't just Moyes' fault. It's Sullivan's fault for allowing it to carry on. Don't blame one without blaming the other one. Do you know what I mean? And I say that with my heart on that, because you can blame Moyes, and I'm with you, but you've also got to look at Sullivan, and you've got to look at Sullivan and say, Sullivan, what are you seeing? Like, what are you seeing that makes you think that Moyes is the man for West Ham? And it's as simple as that, basically. Do you know what I'm saying?
Overall, the system's a mess. The match today was absolutely horrid, and David Moyes' tactics were poor. The players were poor. David Sullivan's an absolute joke. He was partying today somewhere 8 hours ago. Oh yeah, him and his fiance were somewhere, and she was just shaking her rumba at a band or something. But it's a mess right now, and the only way that it's going to be fixed is if we bring in some quality players that Steiden and Moyes want. It's not going to work if Only bring in who Steiden wants. It's not going to work if we only bring in who Moyes wants. Compromise is how life works and how life goes on nice and jolly.
Yeah.
Just compromise, people.
See, the thing is, right, I'm going to round this up. If that is the case, and what you've just told me about he's out gallivanting with his bitter bird, then it tells you all you need to know as a fan. That does this man care? Now, the answer to that is This man, David Sullivan, does not care. All he cares about is the pound note. He's quick enough to come out and sell deck. He's quick enough to get on national radio and sell deck, right? He does not care. So he is the problem, right? And if you had an owner who cared, they'd be doing deals all over the weekend, right? You see deals getting done left, right, and centre. You mentioned it earlier on about Brighton. Yeah, Brighton go in there, bang. They've gone and got the Ghanaian winger, right? Really, really good player. But West Ham don't work weekends, apparently.
Sullivan does not work weekends. Clearly. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. I will try and find the video or whatever. But mate, him and his bird are just she's literally just shaking her rhomba in her glitter dress at some band, and he's just sitting there like the old man he is, just
that's it, yeah. Chilling out, thinking like
that was 8 hours ago. And when did we play? Well, for me it was 7:30 in the morning, so
12 o'clock.
Yeah, so he was playing during the match.
So he's doing that during the match. Mate,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I can't say enough on that geezer. Let's go get to that. He has a phone, but does he have a signal? That's the real question. Like, he can have a phone.
There's no signal in that brain of his.
I know, mate. There is absolutely none. You know what? I ain't going to let it spoil my Saturday evening. You ain't going to let it spoil your Saturday evening. And I ain't going to let the people get spoiled by their Saturday evening either. Right, we're going to wrap this up there, people. West Ham get slapped in Germany, 4-0 against Bayer Leverkusen. What can I say? What hasn't already been said? It's poor, it's bad, and it's not good enough. Next week, we have to see action fast and quick. I want to see players in the door by at least Wednesday, and I want to see them at least on the coach going up to Bournemouth on the Saturday.
Speaking of action, 200 people in the chat right now. Please smash a like on the video. We're trying to get to 100 likes every video. And starting next week, if you haven't already, check out the membership perks in the description. The link is there. We are dropping hot content for next week. We've got tactical analysis. We got betting tips from Fever. Our pre-match preview will be pre-recorded and going early for members. We have got the juice. I'm telling you right now,
but you
content.
You have probably lost the subscribers tonight with your boys in.
No. Because I'm
You know what? I love your opinion.
Check out the membership. I'm telling you, people, you will love it and you don't want to miss it. And yeah, if you want to join, it'd be much appreciated. If not, that is fine, because your participation is more than enough for us.
Yeah. Listen,
I love you all, even though I disagree with more than half of you.
I know you do disagree with quite a few people, but you are not as bad as WestHamOnline people.
I'm a man of the people. I love the people.
Yeah, right. Let me say this. Yeah, he's not as bad as WestHamOnline. That man starts singing in the WhatsApp group that David Moyes. Like, we've got David Moyes, and that is enough to trigger me.
And don't worry, people. I hook and lined WestHamOnline plenty today. He was talking about He was just ranting during the match, and if you really want to get under his skin, talk about Fabianski letting in a goal. That really gets him wound up. Oh, mate, I've done him a couple times today.
Mate, so listen, anyone wants to get on to Alfred? Yeah, let's talk about Fab. Listen, I want to thank the members, 2 members today, Glenn and Poplar Ball. Thank you very much, mate, for becoming members. Really do appreciate it on this channel, yeah.
And thank you to the swear jar contribution.
Oh yeah, from Paul also. Big up to Paul. Paul
and
Chambers.
You as well for not being able to maintain yourself.
I know, mate. I've tried my best. Do you know what I mean? West Ham, no, mate, drives you mad. Do you know what I'm saying? But let's look forward to next week somehow. Let's hope we get a result next week. Because if we don't, then we're going to be in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Lucas, outro. Let's do it.
And again, thank you all. Love you all. Even though we don't agree, your participation is greatly appreciated. Smash the like on the video. We'll see you next time. And turn the notification bell on right now. And the outro will remind you as well. Goodbye. Ciao, ciao. Stay safe. Wagwan. Love.